Okay, get us started, Mike.
All right, well, the first sentence tells us the fishing boat set out to sea and Sig's crew takes part in an important ritual.
Okay.
So yesterday was all about preparation. Remember, Jake, the young captain, had spent a lot of money on his boat, so he was getting ready to go out and try to catch a lot of fish. So today, beginning, they're setting out on their journey. To set out is basically to start a journey. You begin a journey, you start a journey, you set out on a journey. For example, the two explorers set out on their journey into the jungle. It means they began their journey starts now. And we also talked about a special ritual. A ritual is sort of like some kind of religious or ceremony, something that you do for a special reason, a special significance, maybe because of your religion, maybe because you just believe it brings you luck. You know, we often have rituals in our religion. When people get married, they wear special clothes, they might do it in a church, they might put a ring on each other's fingers and say, I do. All of these things are part of the ritual. If you see someone putting a ring on someone and wearing a white dress, that ritual tells you, oh, that's a wedding. So that's what we do. It's part of our culture.
All right, well, let's find out what this ritual is.
Yeah, what is the ritual for fishing?
Not very tasty, but here it says, each man bites the head off a raw herring for luck.
What?
All right, so you've got a fish.
Yeah.
So that's what the herring is. It's a fish.
It's a fish.
It's raw. It hasn't,
kind of a fishy fish.
Hasn't been cooked. That's what the adjective raw means. It means not cooked.
Yeah.
And they're going to bite it off. They're just going to bite off that head.
You know what? I'm just going to call this extreme sushi.
Okay.
And suddenly it's not so bad.
All right, well, let's look at an example sentence for the word raw. I sent my chicken back to the kitchen because it was raw. I don't want to get sick.
No.
You can eat raw fish, but not raw chicken.
Right, you definitely can eat raw fish, not raw. Anyways, herring, yes, is a type of fish, a fish that's found in the Bering Sea. It's kind of silver colored, it's long, they're often smoked. They also fish them in the North Atlantic, right? Herring is something you might have in Norway or Sweden or places like that. It's a very popular fish, and it can also be used as bait to catch other fish. So this is not something really valuable. They're just doing it because it's part of their ritual to bring them luck.
That's right. Now, the reason they are doing this is because luck is something that happens to you by chance. Now, they are not doing this for bad luck.
No.
Bad luck is when bad things happen to you by chance. They're doing this for good luck. Now, good luck is when good things happen to you by chance. Say you find $1,000 on the ground.
Wow.
You look around and no one is looking for their money and you say, oh, what good luck.
What luck?
And then you maybe go buy yourself a little treat.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so they're doing this thing because it's going to bring them good luck. Here's another example of the same kind of thing. People used to carry a rabbit's foot around with them for luck.
That's right. Not so much luck for the rabbit, but luck for you. And notice there, if we're talking about good luck, we can also just say luck. Wow, you have lots of luck. Good things are always happening to you. But if it's bad, then we do want to use
bad luck.
The adjective bad. All right, bad luck is always bad luck, or good luck is generally something that you think is good. All right, so they bite the head off a herring for luck. They set off on their journey, and once they get out to the fishing grounds, once they get, probably many miles away from land, then the crews begin to drop their pots. They take these big cages that they want the crab to crawl into. Those are the pots, and they just basically throw them off the side of the boat, or drop them off the side of the boat, and they kind of hope that they have luck.
Well, that's true, but they do something to make their luck maybe a little bit better.
You want to attract the crab.
That's right. That's why here it says, everyone works hard putting fish inside the pots as bait, then pushing them overboard.
That's right.
All right, let's learn a little bit about this noun bait. Bait is a piece of food that you use to try to catch an animal. So when you go fishing, you might use a smaller fish or a worm to try to catch a bigger fish. For example, you take your hook, you put your bait on the hook, and then you put your whole line into the water. You can catch other animals this way, of course, but here we're talking about fishing, and we usually use smaller fish or worms as bait in that case. Here's an example sentence. My friends like to catch shrimp by putting bait on a sharp hook and putting their line into the pool. All right, so they are putting the fish into the pots.
Yes,
and then
the bait. Yep.
Pushing them overboard.
That's right. They push them overboard. They have some machines, I think, that kind of help. But basically,
They're probably heavy.
Lift it over, let it drop down into the water. And of course, when you put something over the side of a boat, we talk about putting it overboard. Okay, overboard basically just means over the side into the water. So often if someone falls off the boat, we won't say someone's fallen off the boat. You'll say someone has fallen overboard.
Yeah.
All right. So that means a person in this case has fallen out of the boat. It's an adverb, and basically just don't fall overboard if you don't want to swim a lot and maybe get in trouble.
All right, so all the pots are in the water. They're going to maybe travel to another place, not too far away, at least Jake's crew. But
That's right.
Here's what's going to happen next. It says the boats return a day or two later, hoping to find lots of big crabs. Of course, that's what we've got our fingers crossed for, all the king crabs.
Yeah, the crab kind of move across the ocean in like a big blanket. So if you get it right and you put your pots right in that giant army of crab, wow, you're going to do really well.
That's true.
But if you put your pots here and the crab are 20 miles away, you're not going to catch anything. And even if they do catch a lot of crab, they still can't take them all home. It says small ones and females have to be thrown back, so there'll be more crabs in the future.
Now,
so the little ones, the junior ones, you have to wait for them to grow up. And the females, the lady crabs, the mommy crabs, you can't take those because they have to make the crabs of tomorrow, or they have to make more crabs in the future. I think they have like a little, like a ruler.
They probably
and
have
they kind of hold it around it, and if it's too small,
back in
they
the water.
throw it back in. And I guess if someone from the government, from the the fishing police, get on and they find you have a lot of little crab, you're in big trouble.
Big trouble.
These guys follow the rules because if there's no crab tomorrow, they won't have a job.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's go into details about our two different crews here.
So how do they do?
So let's talk about Sig first. It says Sig doesn't find many crabs at first, but he's not worried. Okay, so we use the phrase at first in that sentence, and we use it to show that we're talking about the beginning of a situation, but that the situation changes later on. So maybe he doesn't have any crabs right now, but he probably will later. All right, as another example, we could say, at first, I didn't know anyone at my new school, but I quickly made some friends.
Yeah, we often have at first and then what happened, and then you'll see something but or then, and that shows you here's the change, and then we talk about how it changed. All right, so he doesn't find any at first, but he'll keep looking, and it says he'll keep looking. You don't just quit and go home. No, you bring your pots back up and
go to a new place.
Hopefully go to another place. And what about that junior captain, that younger guy, Jake? It says Jake doesn't find many either. So both of them need to eat more herring heads and get better luck. Well, right now, they're not having a lot of luck.
All right, well, let's find out kind of what's going on with Jake's situation here. It says he needs to catch about 26 crabs in a pot. So in one pot, 26 crabs to break even. But some of his pots only contain 10 or 15 crabs.
That's not enough.
And that's a lot of crabs, but it's not enough to break even.
Right.
Now the phrase break even means that you don't make any money, but that you also don't lose any money. You're just kind of where you started. So all the money that you paid, you're kind of getting that back, but you are not getting any more in, which is ideal.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, as an example sentence, we could say, I expected to make a profit selling my crafts online, but I only broke even. And that's how you use it in the past tense.
Okay, so there we talked about how he needed 26 crab in each pot to break even, but most of them only contain 10 or 15 crabs. Yeah, that's not good. This is one of our grammar points. When we use one of those quantity pronouns, all, most, some, all meaning 100%, most meaning 80%, some meaning 50 or 60%, and then we add of, and then one of these terms, the, these, my, not article or a personal pronoun, something like that. We're kind of giving you an idea that a number, all, most, or some of this thing, and then we'll follow that with a verb. For example, we could say all of the toys are, there's our verb, are on the floor. So 100% of the toys are on the floor. Some of the clothes in the store are 20% off, all right? So maybe 50% of the clothes. We could also say most of the ice cream has melted in the hot sun. There's a little bit of cold ice cream, but most of it, 80% of the ice cream, has melted, has turned into a warm ice cream soup. That's no good. Here's a few other examples we have for you. Sure, why not? Many of the children have finished the test. So there's a few still working on it, but most of them, or many of them, we could also say, are relaxing because they don't have much more work to do. All right, let's go back to the article.
All right, so we've seen that most of his pots only have a few crab in them.
10 or 15. And remember, some of those might be little baby ones or lady crabs, so he has to throw those away. So this is a problem. He won't break even at this point, at this rate.
All right, so of course here we know how he's feeling. It says Jake is worried that he will lose money.
He spent all that money on the boat, and then he paid for gas. He's got to pay the people working on the boat, pay for food for everyone. All of that is now gone. He's got to make the money back. And if he doesn't, not only might he be poor, he might not have a job. It says, will he be able to remain a captain? This is a business.
That's a good question.
And if the captain isn't making money, they'll probably find someone else to do that job.
Exactly. Or, you know, his crew, members of his crew might go find jobs on other boats.
That's another thing too. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure.
All right. Well, here, let's find out a bit more about sort of what goes on in these boats. It says, finding crabs isn't the only difficulty the crews face. Of course, it isn't. Here we're learning about difficulties. A difficulty is a problem or something that causes trouble for someone. So of course we could say the first Arctic explorers experienced many difficulties on their journeys. Cold, ice, snow, dangerous animals, just all of these different things, they're going to create problems for people, and we can say they are difficulties.
Difficulties or challenges is another word we often use. Here's a difficulty or a great danger. It says one man goes overboard and the crew must save him from the freezing ocean. Remember overboard, when you go over the side of the boat into the water? Well, that actually happens. Probably a big wave comes along and he slips and falls overboard. And of course, as soon as that happens, all the work stops because they need to save that crew member from the freezing ocean. Remember, Bering Sea, Alaska, North Pole, yes, the water is freezing. It's extremely cold, and that's what this adjective means. Something freezing is really, really cold. It's at 0 or below 0 degrees. It's the temperature of your freezer. You see that word in your fridge at home. It's where you put your ice. If you put your hand in there or touch ice or touch ice cream, it'll hurt your hand because it's freezing. And of course, in the winter, if you're skiing, if there's snow on the ground, the air is probably freezing as well. It's extremely cold. For example, put on a jacket. It's freezing outside. It's -5, which is, freezing.
All right, so that is probably quite a stressful or scary thing to watch, but that gets our excitement levels up.
What happens?
Well,
is he okay?
I don't know. I like to assume that he is, but
guess.
Here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to check out Deadliest Catch Season 14 for more excitement like this and to find out what happened to that one crew member. I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay too, but there is a lot of excitement.
Right, that's right. So excitement can have two meanings. First is something that makes you feel excited. So many of the things that happen in the show will make you feel excited. And second, excitement can also be that feeling. It can be that feeling of being excited. Here are a couple of example sentences to explain. The parents told their young children about the excitements of Disneyland, all the rides, their favorite characters, yummy food, long lines, so much fun.
And when the kids hear that, they're filled with excitement.
That's right.
The other sentence says?
The children's faces were filled with excitement when they found out they were going to Disneyland.
Excitement all around. And no freezing waters at Disneyland.
No, not at all.
That's good.
All right, well, that is the end of our article today. We don't know what's going to happen in that show. We have to watch it to find out, and so do you. So let's go do that now. But before we do, For You Chat. Stay tuned.